Stephanie White stopped abruptly at the press room door, feet from a plastic-wrapped locker room, and tugged frantically at the shoelaces of her Caitlin Clark Nike Kobe 5 Protros. She couldn't wear those shoes in that environment. And if the drenched, championship t-shirt-clad group that tumbled out of the visiting locker room 15 minutes later, dousing Sydney Colson with a wave of champagne, was any indication, it was the right move. The Indiana Fever made the correct decisions most of the night, upsetting WNBA standings leader Minnesota Lynx in a gritty 74-59 win in the Commissioner's Cup Championship. It's the first hardware for a Fever group built in the offseason to compete for the regular season title, but that has so far fallen short of expectations amid a never-ending roller coaster. Clark, the shoe's namesake who missed her third straight game with a groin strain, led the escapades, waiting at the door and barreling out of the locker room when given the all-clear that Colson was done answering questions and throwing in some lighthearted jests on how the Fever delivered. Every piece of success they had on Tuesday night came without their offensive linchpin in the mix, an absence that has thrown the Fever into fringe playoff contention at 8-8 in the regular season standings. We were over there laughing because we were holding up number one in the pictures and stuff, but technically I think we're 8th in the rankings, Colson said. But we were number one today, and that's important. So we just need this mindset to fuel us forward, and the rankings will take care of themselves. The Cup Championship is an opportunity to make a statement by planting the flag of finals contention. The last two Cups were played between teams that went on to clash in the final series of the postseason. If there's any consolation for the Lynx, who called the 2024 championship the turning point of their season, it's that the Cup champion hasn't gone on to win it all since the Las Vegas Aces in 2022. It was Colson, a member of that championship team, as well as the 2023 runback, who took a veteran leadership role heading into the contest, third-year center Aaliyah Boston said pregame. This was the first championship experience for many of the players, most of whom played their first postseason games less than a year ago. Colson said she made it clear that this had to be their turning point. Coaches constantly reminded them that they hadn't played a full 40 minutes except in last week's win over Seattle. That they were the underdogs without Clark in the lineup helped them play free and execute on both ends. The performance wasn't a full 40 minutes by any means, but they did plenty enough to finish the job. As a primary defender, Natasha Howard made everything difficult for league MVP frontrunner Napheesa Collier. Collier scored 12 points, tied for her third-worst scoring performance of the last two seasons, on 18 attempts. She had 2 at halftime. Howard, a 3-time WNBA champion, earned unanimous Cup MVP honors to add to her 2019 Defensive Player of the Year award. She led all scorers with 16 points, 12 rebounds for assists, 2 steals, and a 17+, minus that trailed only Sophie Cunningham, 18, and Colson, 19. We did whatever we needed to do to make the play, and down the stretch, that was for Tash, guard Kelsey Mitchell said. Be what we need to be for each other. And I think it was her role, her game, to make sure she got what she needed. Without Collier's contributions, and as shots uncharacteristically rimmed out possession after possession, the Lynx's number 2 ranked offense lay dormant. The league's runaway leader in assist rate, 77.3%, didn't move the ball well, find their advantages on switches, or get to their spots. The Fever did all of it. We're usually pretty good at defending our own, defending with physicality, and for whatever reason we lack that today, Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeves said. Indiana, often stagnant without Clark, finished the final 8:13 of the second quarter on an 18-0 run to take a 32-27 lead at halftime, and finish the streak with an inbound feed to Boston out of the half. By the 3:24 mark of the third quarter, the Fever had rattled off a 31-7 run that turned a 13-point deficit into an 11-point lead. Indiana led by as many as 15 in their first meeting with Minnesota by giving to each other when they couldn't do it themselves, and without an elite creator to do it herself. As the Lynx attempted to claw back in, the Fever answered. A layup by Boston on a Howard assist. Aari McDonald's pull-up banker. Colson's steal, Howard's rebounds. Cunningham's drive on the baseline and 24-foot three-pointer. We had some players that were struggling, White said. We had some moments where we struggled, but we still gave to one another, and that's a growth area for our team. Unlike in weeks past, Colson said they didn't play to lose. We know we're a capable team, we just have to show it consistently, Colson said. And it felt good for us to do it without CC, Clark, and Wnba Dynasty. Long before she had her own player edition sneaker that sold out almost instantly, before she became the superstar surrounding the arena to sign merchandise for screaming fans, and definitely before she missed most of the start of her second professional season due to injury. Clark preached the importance of team in everything she does. There is no Clark pass without a made bucket. No logo 3 without sure shooters in the corners. No joy in spraying mini bottles of champagne without someone to laugh and savor the moment. In the biggest game of their season so far, it was those teammates who stepped up in various capacities. 5 players scored in double digits. 7 players secured assists, led by Boston with 6. After an unsettling first quarter of hot potato around the perimeter, the Fever settled into more of an offensive rhythm than they've shown with Clark on the sidelines. Caitlin's somebody who oftentimes makes plays for them, and they're learning how to do that for one another, White said. And there's no substitute for that experience. And I think it's going to pay dividends for us down the road. The Rose Gold Trophy that assistant coach Wnba Christmas Kelly ensured they learn how to pack properly is a symbol of what the Fever can be, even if Clark's injury-riddled season continues. With her back, there's no reason these two teams can't meet again late in the postseason. The issue is the Fever need to be number one on more than one night with $500,000 on the line. Colson hopes this is indeed the turning point her squad looks back to, knowing those Aces teams had them too. The Lynx, enduring another championship celebration in their own Target Center within the last 9 months, want the loss to be theirs now. Mitchell, the longest-tenured Fever player seeking her first title, made no qualms all week of the Cup experience being a gut check physically, mentally, and psychologically. It felt good to earn the win under those circumstances, given the type of season the Fever are having, Mitchell said. We've had so many ups and downs, so many different things have happened throughout the course of the season up to Commissioner's Cup, Mitchell said. We haven't gotten through a portion of the season, honestly. To have so much going on and still stay consistently for each other, it was beautiful. It felt really amazing. After seeing WNBA 2025 Commissioner's Cup Fever celebrations, someone post this on X. It's going viral. Man, it's so funny. Status report for Thursday's game against the Aces. Entire team, questionable hangover. Let's see what these WNBA 2025 Commissioner's Cup winners, stars saying after the game.
Sid, I was talking to Aaliyah before the game just about veteran leadership, especially coming into a championship game. She named you. Is there anything that you told the team heading into this one with your vet experience and your championship experience?
Yeah, I was just making it clear that we need to have a turning point in our season, because so far this season, like our coaches have told us several times, the only full 40-minute game that we played was Seattle, and we won it, and we looked good. We looked like, we were on the same page, and then we were up and down again the next 2 games after that. So we're just trying to find our identity and keep playing. So we just, telling them nobody's expecting us to win, so we're gonna be able to play very free. So let's go out there, let's execute on both ends. Let's have confidence. Believe we can go do this on their home court. And I think, we all played we knew that we could come get a win on the road, and hopefully this mentality carries us forward. I hope so. I think it will be. We're over there laughing because we're holding up number 1 in the pictures and stuff, but technically I think we're 8th in the rankings, but we were number 1 today, and that's important. And so we just need this mindset to fuel us forward, and the rest of the rankings will take care of themselves. We know that we're a capable team. We just have to show it consistently, and it felt good for us to do it without CC, without DD, without BB, EEFF, without them, and us doing this. It was a good feeling for our team.
What changed after that first quarter, specifically defensively, and to have that level of consistency, right? We've seen those fourth quarters where you allow them back in.
Yeah.
Not the case tonight.
We've played so many fourth quarters not to lose is what we look like. We'll have leads, and then we're hesitant, not playing the same way we're holding the game. But in the second quarter, really all game, they're such a good team. They were in the finals last year. We know how well they move the ball. how capable like individual players they have are of being able to like take over a game and score. And so we knew we had to, dig deeper. They went on that big run. I think they had us up by like 12 or something. And so yeah, we just knew we had to change it right then, or it was going to be a wreck for us.
Could you tell the energy and confidence was different there in the fourth quarter, even as they kind of went on their run? Like, did it feel different than previous games that kind of got away from you?
It did. I felt like we weren't playing not to lose. I think we were still playing with confidence. Like, okay, they made their run. We're going to get ourselves settled, go get some stops. We really are trying to pride ourselves on getting 3 stops in a row, and we call it a kill. So whenever we get 3 stops in a row, like the bench is up, the coaches are telling us, and it's fueling us offensively and defensively.
I think you've been in championship celebrations before. Just give us the power rankings in there. Who was getting involved, spraying each other, who was staying out of it. Some of your coaches were not wet, some were soaked, some of your staff workers were.
A lot of the girls went to party schools. I hate to say the white girls, but the white girls were chugging the beers. Cece's in there biting all the bottles for everybody, like, biting through cans and shit. But it was fun. Like everybody, I don't know how to spring. I'm not a drinker. I don't know how to do champagne celebration. But they were opening them. The coaches were having a good time, chugging out of the commissioner's cup. It was fun. It was a good vibe.
What are you doing with your share of the money?
Oh my God, you're so nosy.
All right, here we go.
They're about to wash the book in there.
We're gonna move you guys down to the back.
We're not in there, so describe what's going on as you celebrate this title.
Yeah, I mean, we were waiting for everyone to get back, and then the champagne bottles started getting popped and just spraying everybody, having a good time. I mean, it's fun. We worked really hard to get here, and just happy that we're able to celebrate that win together in a room like that, and it was really fun to see a different side of people, for sure.
Sid was saying that Caitlin was biting tops off bottles, that you, Sophie, were some of the...
we're used to, shotgunning when we need to celebrate, so she got it going for us.
Whose shotguns were faster, you or Sophie?
I did really good. Also, that was one of my better ones, and it being cold makes it a little more challenging, but I got it down really fast.
The defensive intensity kind of seemed like it began there in the second quarter with the concerted effort to play a little more physically. Is it fair to say that? And just what were you seeing, I guess, from everybody defensively there in that 70?
I don't know if it was a little more physical. I think we were just a little bit more disruptive. We were in passing lanes. We didn't allow them to just pass the ball one pass away. We made their movement a little bit more difficult because of our positioning. Our point of attack on ball screen defense was better. I would prefer to say our intensity was a little bit better. Our attention to detail was a little bit better. It's what we're capable of doing, and for us, we did it consistently for 3 quarters, and that's what it's going to take for us.
Next question, front row right.
Yeah, Natasha, you obviously are a former defensive player of the year in this league. Can you just talk about your efforts tonight? Obviously, you were guarding Collier quite a lot, but you also were able to get your offense going. I wonder if you could just talk about both those aspects of your game tonight.
I know I had a handful with Collier. She's a great player, but my thing was just limiting her to hard shots, and that's what I did tonight. I made it uncomfortable for her. But at the end of the day, she was going to still get her buckets, but I couldn't do it by myself. I had my teammates behind me helping me out as well. And for offense, I just grabbed what the defender was giving me, and my teammate was finding me at the right spot at the right time.
Next question, front row right.
Kelsey, coming into this, you talked about so much, hey, you got to have the right approach, don't trick this off, like have the focus. Take me inside that mindset of you guys coming into this game and how tonight was just a collective effort that got it done.
I describe this entire experience as a gut check experience, and I mean that intentionally. I mean physically, mentally, psychologically. It was a gut check moment today, and I think for us, it was about making sure we won those moments that mattered. And I thought down the stretch of the game, we did an unbelievable job of just staying together, weathering the storm, and kind of utilizing what we needed to based on our schemes and our personnel from practice. And I thought down the stretch of the game specifically, we bought in. All 5 of us, whoever was on the floor, bought in, and I think you guys got to see that.
Second row center.
Here. Just for Steph, 2 for you. 1, just what do you feel like you learned about your team tonight, if anything? And 2, just what was it like for you personally? I know it's not a WNBA championship, but to celebrate a championship nonetheless on Target Center on the floor.
It
Yeah, I mean, we have a resilient group. You know, they're tough mentally, physically. They pull for one another. You know, I don't know if it's something that I learned that I didn't already know. It's just I'm proud for them that they can see it come to fruition. Being able to handle the ebbs and flows of the game, being able to give to one another regardless of struggles. I mean, we had some players that were struggling. We had some moments where we struggled, but we still gave to one another. And that's a growth area for our team. I felt like our execution through 3 quarters on both ends of the floor was really good against an outstanding team. I mean, I'm just really proud of this group. You know, we're going to continue to get better. We're going to continue to stack days. It's nice to take a trophy home, but this isn't the ultimate goal. It's a goal, and we've got to continue to get better.
Front row right. Front row. Front row.
Thank you. Steph, I wonder if you could just talk about how important your guard play was, especially in that first quarter when it was a little tougher for Tosh and Aaliyah to get going. I think virtually all your points were for Kelsey and Aari, and just how important that was until you guys were able to establish a post game.
It was important. It was important for us to settle down too. I think they scored, maybe close to double digits off of our turnovers early in that first quarter. But I thought our guards really did a good job of settling us down, creating opportunities for themselves and for one another. Minnesota's a great defensive team. They make everything difficult. We settled down a little bit and started making the easy play instead of trying to make home run plays. I felt like we let our offense work. If we didn't have it, the first action, we got to the second, we got to the third. We did a better job of handling their pressure. And we had multiple people who were the point of attack right there. It was Aari sometimes, it was Sid, it was Kels, at times AB, times Tosh bringing it down the floor, and our decision making through most of those moments was really good.
Scott, on the right.
For both players, obviously the money's a factor that you guys have all talked about. How will you be celebrating, or have you thought about what you do with that, or just put it in the bank?
For me,
I haven't even thought about that. Damn, man, it's a good question.
I'm gonna put mine in the bank and also in the best.
To be determined. I'll let you know.
Next question, center right.
Stephanie, real quickly, what are you going to do with your share?
I get money?
I think so, do you?
I don't know. Well, I got 4 kids, so college fund.
For Kelsey and Coach, then Natasha, if you want to speak to too, what did you see from Natasha tonight that allowed her to have the success she had? And Natasha, let me talk about yourself as well.
Oh man, I think, oh my God, I tell Tasha's a pro that flies under the radar in this league, and not a lot of people respect what she does and brings to the table. She's won on every level, overseas, WNBA, and I think that we have to give her flowers a little bit more. I also think that down the stretch, I thought we did whatever we needed to do to make the play, and down the stretch, that was for Tosh. Be what we need to be for each other, and I think it was her role, it was her game to make sure that we got what she needed, and that's what you guys saw. And we want to keep doing that throughout the course of over 40 minutes.
In the last row left, Emma, my apology, I missed you, Emma.
Steph, with Aari getting the start again and shooting well again, just as she's settled in, what does it mean to have her as an option and her speed in particular?
It's huge. I mean, it takes some pressure off of Kels because Aari has the ability to get downhill as well. And, when you have those two on the floor together, playmakers make plays for themselves, make plays for others. And she sets the tone on the defensive end of the floor. You see she pushes pace, pushes tempo differently than anybody else that we have, but she also sets the tone differently on the defensive end of the floor, and that is just as valuable, if not more valuable, for us as we grow in our defensive identity.
Cassandra, raise your hand if you would. Next question is at the second row center.
Kelsey, you were asked about the collective effort, and Steph had talked about resiliency as she has for a while. What kind of characteristics of this roster have you seen that have allowed you guys to do that, especially on a night like tonight where it's a gut check?
I think we got a team full of givers. I think you just have to want to give. I think me personally, I think any competitor wants to shoot well, and it didn't. And I think for me, it's an example of having to do and give what you need for somebody else. And I think that's what our team is about. We gut check all the time. We're resilient. And even when things get tough, like I've never been around a group that kind of literally stay together. And so it felt good to kind of get a win under gut checking circumstances. And overall, I just felt like you could kind of use our team as an example of resiliency because we've had so many ups and downs, so many different things that's happened throughout the course of the season up to Commissioner Cup. We haven't even got through a portion of the season, honestly. So to have so much going on and still stay consistently for each other, I mean, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It felt really amazing.
Next row, all the way to the left, second row. Next question.
Natasha.
Go ahead.
You started your career in Indiana, then you came to Minnesota. Now you're back in Indiana, playing a game like this against Minnesota. Does it just feel like old home week?
Yeah, it does. It does. It kind of brings back memories when I played here, you know. But I'm on a different team, so it's a different story now. So, but it just feels good, you know, to win a Commissioner Cup with a group of ladies like this that's selfless, that give our all in practice every single day, and you've seen it tonight on the court. So I'm really proud of how we played tonight.
Row one to your right.
I guess, Steph, and if Natasha and Kelsey, if you have anything, obviously you'd love to have Caitlin back, but does it mean something to win this championship with the group that you have when she's not able to play to you, in terms of what that does in terms of everybody's confidence level, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think you've seen this group grow. You know, Caitlin's a player who has a high usage rate, has the ball in her hands a lot, and learning to play without her, learning to make big plays in tough moments on both ends of the floor is important, because that's going to pay dividends down the stretch of the season for us. Like Kelsey said, it's not going to be your day every day. And when it's not, you got to have the confidence in yourself and the confidence in your teammates to allow someone else to step up in those moments. And I think that this group is learning that. They're learning how to play together. They're learning how to make plays for one another. You know, Caitlin's somebody who's oftentimes make plays for them. And they're learning how to do that for one another. And I think that there's no substitute for going through that experience, and I think it's going to pay dividends for us down the road.
Next question, third row center.
Coach, not many teams have been able to kind of slow Napheesa Collier down to the extent you guys did. I mean, 5 turnovers, she didn't shoot over 50%. Just what did you guys kind of figure out schematically to really slow her down and make things so difficult for her?
Well, I think first and foremost, you know, Tosh was a defensive player of the year in our league. You know, she's got length, she's got athleticism, she's fast twitch. So her ability to recover, I think, and contest and contain. She stayed incredibly disciplined and made Fee take tough shots. I felt like our off-ball defense, with the exception of the first quarter, was really good. We showed multiple bodies. We didn't commit one way or another because she's a really good facilitator. We recovered back to shooters, so we were able to keep them off balance by being disruptive. And so it really was Tosh outstanding one-on-one defense, and then a collective team effort, and to finish plays and to defensive rebound.